going on the honeymoon to Paris.
Yeah, dude, look, we are. Like,
come on, man.
No, you're not.
You're not going to be able to stop us.
We've already ordered berets. We got the whole thing.
Berets?
You're just going to be walking in the street. Like you're going to see the tallest man ever to walk through Europe. And they'll be right next to him. Baguettes! Baguettes!
I'm going to lose. There's no way. Going to get some great footage for the show from out there, though.
Yes.
Training company repping it in Paris. Back-to-back
Dave, I can see you on those little boats.
I'm going to be on the boat.
A gondola?
I'm going to be on the gondola.
Yeah.
I still think Blaine doesn't realize that Italy and France are...
No, they're the same.
They're the same.
They're close, but they're two different places.
They're the same.
By the way, though.
Spaghetti.
Driving into work today, I saw one of those escape rooms. Like, I
know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I do not. Yeah, you passed it on.
The one on 65.
Yeah. That has never put me and Blaine in an escape room together because at some point, like if we can't figure out what's going on, I will burn my way out. Like I'll burn that whole place down to get out in time.
That one looks...
We're way too competitive to be put in an escape room.
Now we have to do it.
Well, yeah, I just can. Like I already said, when I get into situations like that, I turn into Bradley Cooper from Limitless. So, like, I was going to get out, next thing you know, I own the entire building.
Well, that's crazy you say that because I'm like Tom Hanks in the Da Vinci Code. Like, I'm seeing signs. Like,
so then we should have no problem.
No. What I'm saying is, though, it's not... If it's a lot simpler than what I think it is going in there and how to get out, and we overcomplicate it because we hold ourselves to a higher standard, and I can't figure it out, something is getting broken or burned down.
Depends on how many people in there. Who would have to start sacrificing to let me
Who's the first one?
Well, the objective is to get out.
Who's the first one we're eating?
That's it.
If you get out, you
even
win.
if it's a small child, like, is this small child's life worth me staying in here? Let's make a business decision here, guys. Open the door!
Well, we have to do it.
I don't want you to. Well, no, we can't. If Blaine's going to be taking small children.
The craning company.
Well, look, you do what you have to do to get out of the escape room.
I mean, look, again, I just feel like we're way too competitive, and I don't think that'd be a good idea. I don't. Like, the minute you look at me and say there's no way you can get out of this escape room, I am going to get out of there your way or my way. Let's just hope that we figure out your way first.
Hold on one second. Setting us up now. All right, we're booked.
Okay,
we're booked.
Great, awesome.
Awesome.
Great escape.
Good, can't wait.
The great escape.
Yeah, Flaming Dragon is getting burnt down.
Dear Maria.
I gave him your government name, by the way.
Of course you did.
Did you just quote the
Yeah, the great, you know,
yes.
Yeah,
I think it's the same song. Same era.
It's in the same realm.
Same realm, yeah. Everybody's pissed at their dad.
Yep.
The Cowboys win big in Tampa Bay last night, ending Tom Brady's 2022 season and possibly his career. Jim Harbaugh agrees to remain Michigan's head coach, and Kliff Kingsbury buys a one-way ticket to Thailand where maybe he can finally score when it counts. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. We hear the term strike while the iron is hot or get out while the getting's good all the time. And for Tom Brady, I think it's about time he should heed that advice. He suffered his first ever losing regular season in 2022. And after last night's 17-point home loss to the Dallas Cowboys, which marks his third ever playoff exit in the first round, it seems like getting out now would be the smart play. So his incredible numbers, or most importantly, the memories of him, don't get skewed late. Now, we all know that Tom Brady is the GOAT. There is no doubt about that, and he has defied Father Time longer than just about anyone. But every player has an expiration date on their career. Brady has been to 10 Super Bowls, winning 7 of them, and he has been the face of dominance throughout sports for some time. But now his team faces multiple big questions, and the longer he hangs on, the more mortal that he seems. Now, he led the league in passing attempts this year once again behind an offensive line that we know has struggled to not only protect, but be able to run the ball, and injuries started through the preseason on into the season. Off the field has been a similar story after his split from supermodel, now ex-wife Gisele Bündchen, who may be the hottest chick on the planet. Now, we all know the people who love the routine of work or enjoy the power enough to stay all the way past when they should. It's a real thing. We see it all the time. We see it in politics right now with people that are older than the Crypt Keeper still making big decisions that affect us all. And if Tom Brady continues to decline and run this ground ball out for much longer, he risks actually becoming the problem. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our co-host, David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, my other co-host, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crane. Guys, we always talk about Tom Brady and retiring, Tom Brady and retiring. Well, looking at going into his 24th season at 46 years old, coming off, in my opinion, and it's not just his fault, the worst year of his career, outside of, I guess you could say 2002, but he didn't have a losing regular season in 2002. He's a free agent again. I know people talk about the Niners, who, in my opinion, have an answer with Brock Purdy. The Raiders, who, while that wouldn't be the craziest destination for Tom Brady, are you really trying to hitch this wagon for 1 year if you're the Raiders with some of the players you have around him instead of really trying to build this thing into something special? I just worry that the longer this goes on, Tom is going to continue to decline because that's what happens. He's defied the odds. You've already beaten the system. All right, you got out, per se. But David, at what point, when he talks about, I want to spend more time with my kids, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, at what point is it enough for Tom Brady? Mm-hmm. And I know the thing that makes him great is the thing that's keeping him in there. He loves the competition. We watch this with Brett Favre, right? Brett Favre retire, then unretire, retire, then unretire. We've seen it with Gronk a little bit. Now he's talking about coming back. But at what point, David, you're 46 years old, you've won 7 Super Bowls, you just divorced your wife for 13 years, which everybody thought was a great collection together. It just seems like it's been a tumultuous offseason with a tumultuous season. Sometimes you got to hang it up.
That's been the question for Tom Brady for some time now. It seems like there are 3 options. You could either run it back with the Bucs, you could hang it up and retire, or you could come back to the NFL and play for a different team. Now, I haven't really been able to get on board with this narrative that the Tampa Bay Bucs are just an awful team this season. Obviously, they had a lot of problems on the offensive line, and when you don't have the offensive line right, it's just hard to have success as a quarterback. But a lot of these throws that Tom Brady is missing and a lot of the games that he's underperforming, that's on him. And it's weird to see only because it wouldn't be weird to see for a 45-year-old guy, but he led the league in passing and touchdowns last season.
Yep.
Now, for this team specifically, they haven't been good all season. So the fact they were able to limp in the playoffs and even give Tom Brady a chance at some sort of postseason magic was already incredible. Last night against Dallas, though, 66 attempts.
Yeah.
66 attempts. You're not going to win any football games doing that. So I don't know what Tom Brady wants to do moving forward. It sounds like from that press conference that he gave last night, that first option of running it back with the Bucs is not going to happen, right? It sounds like that. Does that mean that he will go to a different franchise? On the home front, here's what I'm thinking about that. I have a hard time believing that he got divorced from his wife only because he came back and played football.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Maybe that's the case. It sounds like there was more going on. Maybe that information will come out at some point. But if you've already, we did this a year ago. He retired. Then he decided to come back. It looks like it cost him his marriage. Are you not going to try and at least come back and maybe go out on top? That's the question. Or, like you said, is this going to be a continuous slide? You won it all in 2020, defeated in the divisional round last season to the eventual Super Bowl champs, the Rams. Now you're out in the wild card round to a Dallas Cowboys team. The Bucs don't look like they're going to be able to improve just miraculously at the offensive line position unless you get a lot of pieces in there. Now what moving forward?
Yeah, that's the question. And Blaine, some people say, oh, well, it's just about the offensive line. A lot of this is on Tom Brady. We talk about, oh, Lamar Jackson this. Oh, we look around the league, Justin Fields. Justin Fields would love to have some of the pieces that the Buccaneers have. He would love to have Mike Evans and Godwin, and Cameron Braid at tight end, even though I love Cole Kmet for the Bears. I think he's going to end up being a top 3, top 4 tight end. You look at Leonard Fournette. You look at Gage. He has more weapons than a lot of people, but I'm watching him overthrow hitches. I'm watching him underthrow slants. I'm watching him turn the ball over in the red zone in important times, in important games. There is nothing worse than watching one of the greatest that we've ever seen wither away and just wither away and wither away and wither away. We've seen it. There's been other examples of it. And this didn't feel like a swan song season to me. You know how in baseball, like you'll have the swan song season where you get a curtain call every road game and, kind of putting you on the raft and the old person in the village and pushing you down the river. It didn't seem like that for Tom Brady. I don't think he's going to retire. I just think that he should because he is part of the problem. We do have to realize that Tom Brady does have fault in this by the way that he played.
Well, I agree with some of those things. One, we're not used to Tom Brady throwing picks in the red zone. This is his first red zone pick all year, right? Let's really look at this Bucs team. You did get Ryan Jensen back for this game, who didn't play the entire year, the center for the Bucs, who look somewhat good. Worst running team in the NFL. One of the worst explosive teams from a receiver standpoint in the NFL. Mike Evans, latter half of his career. Chris Godwin coming off an ACL tear last year, which Chris did look okay. Russell Gage really hasn't done anything. Defense played well for as long as they could. But the thing about Tom is this. From a physical standpoint, I think Tom looks fine. From throwing the football, arm strength, somewhat accuracy, wasn't super accurate against the Dallas game because that's why he had to get the ball off in 2.5 seconds or he would get killed, right? That's what I said was going to happen. The Bucs weren't going to roll someone out just in the playoff game and magically become better. They were an average team the entire year. Do I think Tom? It's more of a mental thing with me with Tom. From a mental standpoint, do you want to come back and do this every week, right? Every week, do you want to strap it up, put the pads on, go through the game plan, and keep doing this? Family, I don't know enough of what happened with Giselle to really put my finger on it. But I think there's opportunities out there for Tom away from the Bucs to have success. The Raiders. Right now, what do the Raiders have? Cap space. Get a couple of old linemen. You got picks. You have enough cap space to get a quarterback. And Tom's been known to do what through his career? Take pay cuts, right? Take a pay cut to go win a championship. The Dolphins. You go look at the Dolphins right now, ready to win a title, right? Hell, the Titans, who have some cap space to move around, can go get somebody. I mean, it's so hard for a quarterback to really succeed. And he threw for 4,700 yards. He had the worst running game in the NFL. He had to throw it 66 times against the Cowboys.
Yeah, he threw for over 5,300 yards last year. He's thrown for over 700 attempts twice in his career. It's the past 2 years. So not only is Tom Brady getting older, he is having to be the focal point of the offense and throwing the ball around. And again, it's impressive to see the 25-9 number when you have that many attempts. But again, at the end of the day, Tom Brady does not need to be the guy that's going out there and throwing the ball 50 times a game. That's not how Tom Brady has won. A lot of the championships Tom Brady has won, he's done it by not screwing it up. To be honest, if you want to be honest, a lot of the Patriots championships, they were really good on defense, especially in the secondary. Tom would make the right decision in the right moment. He'd check it down and then make the throws in the big moment that he had to. But him going out there and attempting 733 passes in a season, then the year before 719 passes, look at this drop-off in 2020. He attempted 610 passes with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In 2019 with the Patriots, his last year with them, 613. In 2018 with the Patriots, 570. So again, not only is Tom Brady having to be the focal point of the offense, which I contribute a lot to being the downfall of the Buccaneers these past couple years, including this year, he is about to be, 46 years old? 46 years old. So if I'm the Dolphins and I wanted to build this Frankenstein team together, and I'm say, here's our shot with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. We don't trust that Tua is going to be healthy, even though we're going to try and bring him back. I would try and go get somebody younger. Try and get somebody that maybe can run a little bit. Why was Tyreek and Patrick Mahomes so dangerous? Because Patrick could extend the play long enough to where Tyreek could find space, turn into a scramble drill, and hit the home runs. They hit more home runs than doubles, and Jalen Waddle's the same guy. Tom Brady can't extend
Tua was dangerous at the Dolphins. He could barely move.
Tua was better in the pocket extending the play, I thought, than what people give him credit for. Tua's not slow or unathletic.
Well, I mean, you could say he's a little bit better mobile than Tom Brady. Tom Brady has a better arm than Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, nobody's arguing.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, we're talking about hitting home run plays with Tyreek Hill. I could get a blind kid to hit a home run play with Tyreek Hill. He's the fastest player in the league.
Why couldn't Skylar Thompson do it? He can see.
Skylar Thompson hit a couple big plays. Hell, Tyreek dropped 2. Jalen Waddle dropped 2.
Skylar didn't make the play.
And Miami Daniels, somewhat, I think, his play calls were kind of conservative, especially in that first half. They weren't catching passes. Tom Brady right now, the arm strength's not a problem. I'm watching Tom. I go back from last year. Tom can still sling the rock. It's not that question. It's more of a mental thing with me. You're telling me right now, if you're a Raiders fan, that you wouldn't mind Tom Brady walking in here being your quarterback with the weapons that you have?
Much rather have Lamar Jackson. I promise you that.
Well, obviously, but you have to pay a lot more to Lamar Jackson. You have to invest a lot more to Lamar Jackson. You have to do in Tom Brady.
That is true, and a longer contract.
Way longer contract.
When Tom Brady came into Tampa Bay, we thought of that as the move that was like, okay, here's a franchise that hasn't been to the playoffs in a long time, has all the right pieces. They haven't been settled at the quarterback quarterback position, just coming off the Jameis Winston tenure. Tom Brady could come in here and possibly maybe like take them to the playoffs. That would be a win. Or maybe what if he even won a Super Bowl? Then he does that. That's incredible. Now we're already talking about, like, we thought that was going to be a swan song. Now we're talking about him doing that with another franchise. So if you're Miami or if you're the Titans or the Raiders, yes, you would like a long-term answer at quarterback. But if you can't have that, I guess the next best thing is to kind of do what the Denver Broncos did when they brought Peyton Manning in. Hey, let's go get a guy who's not going to be here for a long time. We're not going to sign some long-term max deal, but could he win us a Super Bowl and then leave, and then that would be enough of a win for us.
What's been the difference for the Bucs the last 2 years? From a play calling standpoint. Byron Leftwich has been the difference.
Well, when Byron Leftwich is calling plays for the bucket, Leftwich is
the last 2 years. Byron Leftwich been calling the plays.
That's like saying that somebody's telling LeBron what to do. Tom Brady is calling those plays.
Byron Leftwich is calling the plays for the Bucs.
Okay,
who's about to be fired if he's not fired already?
Tom Brady. At the end of the day, Tom Brady is the offensive coordinator for that team. Again, you think that Byron Leftwich is telling Tom Brady what to do?
Yeah, I literally watch it.
I literally
watch Byron Leftwich.
I don't think that.
I'm sure Tom can adjust anything he wants to. If he wants an audible play, that's fine. But Byron Leftwich is calling the plays.
Tom Brady was calling plays when Bill Belichick was his coach.
Congratulations. Well, Byron Leftwich's been calling the plays the last 2 years. That's why Byron Leftwich is about to be fired.
I just think back to the play. It may have even been the Super Bowl season or maybe last year when Byron Leftwich called the play in and Tom looked down and said, no.
Tom Brady's calling the play.
Exactly. So Byron Leftwich was what? Calling the play.
From a semantic standpoint, you're right.
Yes.
No, it's Tom Brady's offense. All right, let's go ahead and get to the Boost Club here in a second. But the NFL playoff action is going to continue, guys. We got some great matchups coming up next weekend as we get closer to Super Bowl 57. For the divisional round, you need to check out DraftKings Sportsbook, the official betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly when you use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. New customers, I'll say it again, you can bet $5 on the NFL divisional round and you get $200 American human dollars in free bets instantly. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply, unlike Tom Brady. See show notes for details. Booster Club.
All right, let's go. First, we had a bag dropped on us, a.k.a. Bin Laden, a.k.a. Bin Laden.
Okay.
$50 donation.
Let's get it.
Coming in hot. It says, fellas, split the difference for my bets on the game, and you guys came up clutch. Here's to you. Clap hands emojis.
That's exactly right. Everybody clap hands together.
Yeah, love it when you come on top.
Together, making a clapping noise.
Let's go to Mike D'Angelo. What's up, Mikey? He says, morning, gents. Good morning to you. What do you think of the hiring of the new GM for Arizona, Austin Fort? What do you know about him, his drafts, and his decision-making?
I think the jury's out a little bit. He's a guy that was kind of unknown to me, but I think it was the right decision by the Cardinals. If you can't tell, the Cardinals basically just wiped everybody except Kyler Murray. They just etch-a-sketch the whole thing, leave Kyler out of it. If you look at the background, I do like what I'm seeing, but I think the jury is still out. Again, if you're the Cardinals, to me, how much, as a Cardinals fan, do you really believe in Kyler Murray in the long run? Part of me really wants to believe in Kyler Murray because he's uber talented. But we go back to the mental aspect, right? The mental, how we know about the clause in the contract and all those things. But moving forward, can you make the right decisions around Kyler Murray to put that team in the best place possible? You have space. You're going to be able to move some assets around. We know D-Hop and all that stuff. I like the hire. I'm not in love with it. Let's see how it goes a little bit early before I sit here and just be guessing, because that's what it would be. And I know a lot of times on the show we have to guess and we project and things like that, but I don't want to sit here and start just filling time with words that make no sense about this guy, because I've got to see it a little more with him in control, with a player like Kyler Murray and what they put around him. That's the biggest question for me.
All right, Matty Ice, 1994, he says, if you could build a team around one defensive player, who you take it? Nick Bosa, Aiden Hutchinson, I don't know if Ada should be in that talk yet, or Micah Parsons.
It's Micah Parsons for me.
Probably
Versatility.
Micah Parsons. Maybe even Fred Warner type. I mean, get that linebacker short up.
Yeah. Again, I mean, hell, I may still build one around Bobby Wagner now, as crazy as that is. But no, out of that group, Micah Parsons, because he can do more things. Watching him come off the edge, I mean, you talk about first step explosiveness. I mean, I don't, outside of just being massive, I don't know how you block this guy when he runs the hoop. But the thing about Micah is you can drop him in coverage, you can bring him off the edge, you can put him at linebacker. Hell, he could probably return punts. He is a true dual threat defensive player. In baseball, we talk about 5 tool players, right? The guy can hit, he can run, he can field, he's got a high IQ, all these things. Micah Parsons is that and more in the game of football. He is a true football player. And I'm going to be honest with you, I like his personality. I think he says what he thinks.
Even the first play for the Cowboys yesterday, or for the Bucs on offense, Cowboys on defense, they ran a simple pin and pull to the right side. Micah Parsons comes in and gets a tackle for loss unblocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the guy you need to be doubling or tripling.
For sure.
You're not reading him. Tom Brady's not running zone read, so I know that wasn't in the game plan.
Yeah.
That's the guy you leave unblocked?
Yeah, it's that I would not leave him unblocked, just unlike Dan Woken. By the way, make sure you subscribe. Check us out on all social media as well, and go check some merch out, RealDailyWire.com. Go into the Daily Wire collection, and you'll find it. See our beautiful faces and logo and all sorts of things.
All right, Sean Pennison, what's up, Sean? Hashtag Ask Crane and Company. If the Saints get the number 12 pick from Houston, who should they take? I mean, obviously, you're taking a quarterback, right?
Well, again, if I have the number, if I'm making and I know the Saints situation right now is kind of crazy, especially with the Eagles and the picks like that. But if I'm going to take a quarterback, who at 12, unless I trade up, is going to be there? C.J. Stroud declared, like we knew he was going to. Great PR strategy by him and his team. Bryce is going to be off the board. Stroud's going to be off the board. I don't believe in Will Levis, but he's probably going to be off the board. Apparently, the Colts are head over heels in love with him, which sounds like the most Colts things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, Hendon Hooker? Is that who we're looking at? If it's me, I'm going to tell you what I do, Saints. I'm going to tell you what I do. I get up the phone, I make a call to Carolina. What do you want for Matt Corral? I'm just telling you guys, Matt Corral is going to be a dog in the NFL. I continue to say it. If Brock Purdy can be a dog with those weapons around him, Matt the Golden Corral can be one too. I'm just telling you, I think this guy has a chance to be special. I know New Orleans, if they're going to take a quarterback, they're probably not going to do it in a trade with an unproven guy. They'll probably try and do it in the draft or, take a Hendon Hooker or somebody like that. But it's got to be quarterback, right, Blaine?
I would think, but other than Hendon Hooker, you'd have to give up too much to go get Bryce or CJ. You'd have to give up the entire organization to go get those guys. Other than Hendon, don't believe in Will Levis. I just want to see what Hendon's like off the ACL, right? That's I haven't seen him off the ACL. And this Hendon was a long strider, right? Long strider. So we'll see how he is off the ACL. Other than that, do you really take him at 12, though?
I don't know.
12? High.
That's high.
That's high. That's risky. That's risky.
All right, let's go to Sister Riggs. What's up, Sister Riggs? She said, I feel like Purdy has proven himself against several challenges, and it really depends on which Cowboy team shows up.
Yeah, when it comes to Brock Purdy, it's hard for me to doubt a guy that has given me no reason not to doubt him. You're playing this game at home, and after watching Dak play so good, don't you think he's going to just play okay the next game? I haven't seen Dak be able to string games like that back-to-back really in his whole career. San Francisco has the defense. Now look, if Ward plays that bad on the outside again, I know D'Amico's going to play man. I know he's going to play man. So Ward's going to be locked up man-to-man against somebody, whether that's Michael Gallup, whether that's CeeDee Lamb, regardless. When I look at the Niners as a team, I think they're the most balanced team, offense, defense, and special teams in the NFL. They've been the most consistent in all three phases. That's been Dallas's biggest problem is consistency. I don't think Dak is going to play the type game that he played last night against that San Francisco 49ers defense. And Brock Purdy, we always hear, we talk about freshmen in college. Coaches like, yeah, we're too young to even know we're supposed to be playing this good. Or we're too young to even know we shouldn't be here. I feel like Brock Purdy's kind of that way, but he just looks so comfortable. The game doesn't look too fast. Outside of Micah Parsons just wrecking everything, I like the Niners. We're going to talk about lines here in a minute, but I like the Niners in this game early.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good segue because Cowboys +4 at the Niners. And not only that, but just the Cowboys' performance from yesterday and the way Dak played. 5 touchdowns. Your thoughts on that, guys?
Again, I got to give him props. I'm going to come on here and we've talked about Dak, and when he makes errors, they're catastrophic errors and things like that. But I'm going to give him credit when he plays well. Last night was the type Dak Prescott that gives Cowboys fans hope for eons with Dak. And then he'll just go and fall apart in a game. And then they'll pile on, and then he'll have a game like this. It's the lack of consistency from Dak Prescott that leads me to believe that the Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl with him. They just won't. And to be honest with you guys, I'm looking around right now, and I'm looking at these games. The Jags and Chiefs, man, you feel good about the Chiefs. The Giants can beat the Eagles. The Bills or the Bengals can win. And I think the Niners handle the Cowboys. I think it's the second most lopsided game outside of the Chiefs-Jaguars. Because I don't think the Cowboys are consistent enough. They're just not. What's been the biggest bugaboo for the Cowboys? They show you really good, then they show you really bad, then they show you okay. They're just not steady. I would rather have a team that is just good all the way through and I know what I'm going to get than this roller coaster ride that we go on with the Cowboys. Because when you play in a tournament-style sport in the postseason, and that's what we pretty much have in everything now. We have it in college basketball. We have it in the NFL. Hell, we're about to get a 12-team playoff in college football. You cannot be inconsistent and win a championship. I just don't believe in the Cowboys' consistency. The only thing they have similar to the word consistent is that Cowboys and consistent both start with a CO.
49ers -4, Blaine. At home, over-unders 46, so Cowboys' money line would be plus 165.
Okay.
I think that line will go
That's
up.
not bad. This is the best I've seen Dak play all year. The best I've seen him play all year. And it's always something with the Cowboys in the playoffs, right? There's always something, feels like there's hovering over them, waiting on them to blow it, right? Because they do it mostly every year. But now you get this win, and it feels like some weight comes off your shoulders, right? Especially your Dak Prescott. You're starting to feel a little more freedom coming in, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing going against probably the best defense in the NFL in the 49ers. But I look at this game, and I think it's going to be a close game. Which defensive line can make the plays at the right time to win the game, in my opinion? I feel like both secondaries are good. The Cowboys, I think, are more of a liability than the 49ers. But who can get to the quarterback the most in this game? I think if the Cowboys, Dak, this is your chance now. This is your chance to win a game and to shut everybody up. Everybody up. Because there's a rookie over there, buddy. He wasn't even play. He didn't have a snap in the NFL before Thanksgiving. Yeah. Right? And now he is kicking people's asses up and down, and the kid doesn't look nervous at all. Right? Playoff football is a little bit different. Obviously, played a great game in week 1. But I think the 49ers are a better team, but I feel like the Cowboys are going to play extremely well in this game. And who's going to guard CD? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Who's going to guard CD? They got to put Ward on him, right?
I think so. That's what I would think. Both defenses were flying around yesterday early, and we talked about Dak started 0 for 3, right? Goes 11 for 11 after that, like sets a record since Troy Aikman in 95 or something. But I'll tell you what really got my attention yesterday. After the Cowboys are already up 12-0, and they get the ball back with 2 minutes left in the half, that 2-minute drill that Dak Prescott ran was flawless.
That was nice.
Not only did he have a sense of urgency, but almost like a sense of purpose to like prove everyone wrong, like you're saying, Blaine. What I want to know, was that just a reaction to hearing all of the outside noise that he cannot lead the Cowboys in big game performances, or is that going to be a part of his essence moving forward? Because if you want to beat this 49ers team, or if you want to beat whoever the other side, the AFC is going to show up with in the Super Bowl, that's going to have to be your mentality every drive.
Yeah, I think Dak internalizes a lot of it, and you obviously want to prove the doubters wrong. But, Cone, you know this, having played the position, sometimes that 2-minute drill is easier than operating at normal pace. You're not thinking. You know what it looked like? Dak wasn't doing what? Overthinking.
Well, they should run it all game.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what we talk about.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was. And I do want to say the biggest difference, I think, in both the offenses last night, because neither run game was fantastic. Like, it was tough for them to get a lot going in the ground game. You saw them trying to work the interior, work the exterior with Pollard and Zeke on the Cowboys side, and then obviously, on the Buccaneers side, trying to work Fournette and Rachaad White. But the difference was the Cowboys were effective in the seam and the middle of the field in the passing game, and the Buccaneers were not. Dalton Schultz and Dak Prescott ran the seam last night. It seemed like Tom Brady and them could get nothing over the middle. And when you get nothing over the middle and you don't scare people in the middle, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the outside on the vertical balls and corners off smash and things like that. It seemed to me like the whole kitchen was open for the Cowboys because they built their passing game from the inside out from the beginning on. I mean, hell, Dak Prescott, literally on the right hash inside the seam, hit Dalton Schultz for their first touchdown. He was wide open. He looked off the safety. And you work it from the inside out. And that's how you pick people apart. That's why sometimes, people are watching games, they're like, how the hell are guys getting that open on the comeback on the outside? Well, you want to know why? They just got melted on the post. Or they're getting killed on the slant or the basic or the dig. And they're worried about taking the inside away and they're giving cushion. So now I got a strong enough arm. I can throw the 10-yard out. I can throw the sticks route. I can throw the comeback route and feel good about it and let the ball go on time. So I think that was the biggest difference last night. But when it comes down to that 2-minute drill, that's the best I've seen Dak operating under pressure, with the clock going down and utilizing the whole field. That's why I thought he was successful last night.
Yep, no doubt. All right, let's go to the other NFC game, which will be Giants at Philly. That line right now is -7.5 Eagles, all right, just over a touchdown with the hook there, over under 48.5. So that would be Giants plus 280 on the money line, boys.
Man, I tell you what, I love the under in this game, first of all. I think this is going to be a way more defensive game than we saw against the papier-mâché defense that Ed Donatel and the Vikings rolled out there last week. The more I think about this game, the more I like New York.
Really?
I think New York's playing better than Philadelphia is going into this game.
Sure.
I mean, I know Jalen sat those 2 weeks, then came back, looked decent. I know they're still going to run him. He's had time to rest it. But I just feel like the Giants have momentum right now. They're not afraid to go play on the road either, and Daniel Jones isn't making critical mistakes. He's making good decisions, and they're using every bit of what they have. We know Saquon's had a resurgence this year. The Eagles have been a fantastic story. This is Jalen Hurts' first playoff game. Daniel Jones has one under his belt, and he played pretty daggum good. I know they're a 7.5-point dog. I would take him to cover right now. But the more I look at that money line and the more I think about the Giants and the way they're playing, and I watch that offensive line with Evan Neal and those guys continue to get better and continue to get better, because you have to have somebody going against that Eagles front seven, because they're hell up front, and they've been hell up front for a while. But guys, I'm telling you, I'm starting to lean Giants a little bit early in this week. It may kind of flip back in reverse, but 7.5 is a lot of points in this game to me, Blaine.
Give me the Eagles. The Eagles are a better team. It's a better team. Don't let the Vikings defense fool you, okay? I promise you that. One of the worst defenses in the NFL on running the ball and giving up the pass. The Eagles, in my opinion, the best offensive line in the league, hands down. One of the best defensive line in the league, have 2 impact players at receivers, has a true cornerback in Slay, and a couple good safeties. I feel like the Eagles cover in this game. The thing about the Cowboys, what have the Cowboys been doing that's opening up Daniel Jones? Running the football, right? The Giants, excuse me. They've been running the football, and everything's easier in the life of a quarterback when you can sit and run the football, especially when they're Giants, when you're built off play action. Daniel Jones' legs will be key in this game. I feel like they cover in this game. I feel like Jalen is comfortable with this offensive line. They established the run game early, and they slowly, like a boa constrictor, baby, like that Georgia team from a couple years ago, they're going to slowly just constrict you in what you want to do, and you can't stop gravity. So give me the Eagles to cover. I think Jalen's going to look good when his first week back, and that offensive line will carry you home if you're the Eagles.
And I know people will say, oh, well, this game didn't matter. Don't forget, the Giants went on the road and played the Eagles when Jalen Hurts played that last game with their threes and lost by 6. I know the Eagles were up 19-0. I know neither team was playing for anything at that point outside of the Eagles to be able to secure that number 1 seed and get that bye. We know that. But as far as the Giants, they were locked into the 6th seed and it didn't matter. Them coming back like that at the end, I'm just telling you, I think the Giants are confident right now. Mm-hmm. I just think they're overtly confident. Brian Bball is not afraid to call anything. They're not afraid to go for it on 4th and short. They are playing with house money. All the pressure is on the Eagles. All the pressure's on the Eagles. It is a win, which is a win, which is a win for the Giants. You found your quarterback for the near future, I think, with Daniel Jones. They're going to pick up that option like Keenan Reynolds did for Navy. You've got Saquon Barkley back and healthy, looks good. You've really got nobody at wide receiver outside of Darius Slayton because Kenny Golladay has done nothing, and Richie James is an up-and-comer that I do like for the future, but you don't have that superstar. It just seems to me like this is all setting up for the pressure to be on Philadelphia and the Giants to go in there. Don't let them get a lead early. Mm-hmm. Do not let New York get a lead early. I'm just telling you guys, the Spidey senses are off the charts on this.
The more and more I watch this Giants team, the more I like them. And Brian Bball, I would love to play for that guy.
Yeah,
I really would. And unfortunately, they're going up against what was the best team in the NFL for most of the season when Jalen Hurts was healthy. So naturally, yes, I want to see how healthy is Jalen Hurts, it's phenomenal that we're at a point with this unbelievably talented Eagles team that we're saying, their success or to failure will depend on the health of Jalen Hurts, because that proves they have won because of him, not in spite of him, which I think is truly phenomenal. And if he is healthy moving into this game, I still think the Eagles are going to pick up where they left off before his shoulder.
Yeah, well, there's 2 teams in the NFL that played more true 11-on-11 football on offense than anybody. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and it's the Chicago Bears. because they use both of their quarterbacks in the run game truly. And you know what? The way it's looking right now, the Giants may be third.
Yeah.
I watched more design runs for Daniel Jones. I don't think there's ever been a white quarterback get more design runs than Daniel Jones got last week, to be honest with you. And then
He led the game in passing and rushing.
and rushing. I think he had 77 yards, something like that. So when this game may come down to true 11-on-11 football, and in the red zone, that's why the Eagles have been so deadly. That's what makes the Giants so deadly. You want an extra advantage when the field shrinks? Well, let's truly go 11-on-11, have the quarterback design run game so we can get a hat on a hat, go find a hole and get a first down.
And what's the price you pay for that? Sometimes
That's
the quarterback
exactly right.
gets injured, and Jalen Hurts is coming off an injury.
That's exactly right. But, you know, you look, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I think it is. I think it is. So it should be a hell of a game.
Be interesting to see who leads the game in rushing from the quarterback position in this game.
Yeah,
That'll be a nice little
that'll be a prop bet.
little prop bet.
That'll be
to
a nice
pay
little
attention
prop
to.
bet. That's
all right. AFC Jacksonville at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
8.5.
Yeah, I love the Chiefs in this one minus the 8.5 because the Jags secondary is just not very good. And this is not a great recipe. They're great against the run, but Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid do such a good job of not only manipulating the game from a pass standpoint, but from a run standpoint as well. You never know what is coming in the run game for Kansas City. They're doing ring around the rosy before they get into formations. Okay, it's gotten to that point. I think, like Blaine said, Andy Reid's just bored at this point. But they do such a good job, whether it's manipulating split zone, whether it's the Utah play, gap scheme, zone scheme. They always have something. Pacheco is really coming into his own. But Jerick McKinnon has been the secret sauce for the Chiefs, if you really want to look at it.
Yeah.
When they get in the red zone, they use him as their kind of weapon X in the pass game, in the run game, in the speed sweep game, in the trick play game, the specials, whatever you want to call it. I don't think the Jags will be able to dial in enough. If I'm the Jags, I'm just bringing pressure the whole game. I'm bringing pressure. Patrick, you want to throw one-on-one balls to Valdez Scantling and beat me? That's fine. Or Juju Smith-Schuster and beat me? That's fine. I just don't see a way in which the Jags figure it out offensively without a couple turnovers. I mean, Trevor, they had 5 turnovers last game and 1, which just doesn't happen. It's an anomaly. We all know. It was more about the Chargers blowing it, in my opinion, than it was the Jags coming back. I think the Chiefs roll in this one.
Well, I know he did throw 5 interceptions, and all those weren't on him, obviously. But the thing about Trevor, what I was kind of impressed was, he really didn't change throughout the game. His demeanor didn't change throughout the game. He still had confidence in himself, and he ran the offense and slowly chopped wood throughout the game. But I think the Chiefs are a better team for sure. Do I think the Chiefs are going to win this game? For sure. But I'm interested to see the Chiefs secondary, because when I watch the Chiefs play, especially against this Jags team, I'm looking down the road. Right now, who you're going to have to play with? It's the Bills, the Bengals, or whoever that's going to be. But I just don't see a way Jacksonville, from just a standpoint of what they're going to have to do to beat the Chiefs. Like, I don't know how they're going to stop them. Obviously, you're somewhat good in the box. Your front seven's not bad for Jacksonville. Secondary's not great. I'm just interested to see the way the Chiefs play. I always want to watch the way the Chiefs defense play, because I always believe in Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback. I can tell you one thing: if you're the Jaguars, they're in the red zone, they're throwing to Jerick McKinnon. All right, the kid's got 8 touchdowns in the last 8 weeks in the red zone. So I won't be surprised by that. But I think the Chiefs will win this game. I do think they cover. But if you're a Jaguars fan, you should be nothing but excited right now.
House money.
It's nothing but excited right now.
It's like the Giants. It's house money. Like at this point, it's playing for pizza.
So on DraftKings, this game does have the highest over and under. This over under is 51.5. That's 1 point higher than even the Bills and Bengals. How you feeling about the over under there?
Man, it's such a high number, but I think about the big plays the Chiefs can hit down the field. The Chiefs defense is good. It's not great. I love Nick Bolton at Mike and some of the pieces that they have. Chris Jones, obviously up front, formerly of Mississippi State, it's a monster. I do like the under, however, just because it's so many points. This game feels like a 31, 17 type game just underneath it. I don't think it gets above 50.
All right, last one, boys. We get the rematch of the game that was canceled a few weeks ago with DeMar Hamlin going down. This is going to be Bengals going to the Bills. The line opens at -5 Buffalo. Like I just said, 50.5 on the over-under. That'd be plus 190 for Bengals on the money line.
Yeah, and you hear a lot of people that are saying, oh, well, look at that Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrow sacked 4 times. Last game, they kind of revert. Jonah Williams dislocated his kneecap, so it's going to be interesting to see, the damage on that if he's able to play. And the Bengals, what has made them really special down the stretch is the offensive line was playing better, right? What do we talk about all year? Joe Burrow's getting the ball out quicker. right? They've kind of married up the offensive line getting better and Joe Burrow getting the ball out quicker. But last game he got sacked 4 times. But guess what, guys? Josh Allen got sacked 7 times. And the Bengals defensive line is very underrated in my opinion. DJ Reader is a hell of a player, one of the captains on the defense. Hendricks is a hell of a pass rusher. They got some guys that can give you a problem on the edge. And right now, Buffalo is struggling on the offensive line and defensively. There is no Von Miller. Who is your playmaker on deep? Matt Milano? That's what you're going to get. Joe Burrow is not going to throw for just 200 yards again. Joe Burrow in the play. The Dolphins did a really good job of staying in the game, frustrating Burrow a little bit. The Ravens did a good job of staying in the game, frustrating Burrow a little bit. I thought, Danielle Hunter and those guys coming off the edge did a really good job as the game went on, and we know the Bengals struggle up front. But which one of these offensive lines is going to step up, not only in pass pro, but in the run game as well? You have to have some semblance of a run game. I think this will be the highest scoring game of the weekend because while I do like the Bengals on defense, the Bills with Josh Allen, the alien, the monster, Hugante, the Nephilim, whatever you want to call them, I think him and Stephon Diggs are going to have a big game, but give me Joey Shiesty, the God King Joey B. Give me the Bengals.
Oh, okay. Well, I took the Bengals money line 3 weeks ago in that game without blinking. That line was at plus 120. Now, that game was in Cincinnati. This game will be in Buffalo. But it's more to me about what you were talking about with the offensive line. Something just felt different with that in that Ravens game. Now, a couple things, like you just talked about. That was a divisional matchup. That was a team you had just played back-to-back. You have guys like Justin Houston, all those guys coming off the edge that really created a problem. But I had flashbacks to those first 2 games of the season for the Bengals when T.J. Watt was coming off the edge for the Steelers in that opener. It was the first time I had ever seen Joe Burrow look like a deer in headlights. Then all of a sudden they reel off, 9 straight wins now throughout the season. I'm a little less confident for the Bengals going into this game than I was a few weeks ago. Part of that is that they're on the road, but you still have to like the fact that this thing could turn into a shootout at any moment, right?
Yeah,
Brian?
well, the thing about it, I had the Bills winning the Super Bowl, but I think they lose this game. I really do. And a couple things. I know the offensive line for the Bengals did not play good against the Ravens, who has an extremely good defensive line. The Dolphins.
Yeah.
But the Bills can't get there with 4. They're not going to get there. They haven't been able to get there for a while now with 4 rushers. So at this point, you're going to pick your poison against Joe Burrow. Are you going to bring extra hats, bring extra guys to blitz the quarterback? Well, if you do that, let's look at what we got outside. Right?
Who you
That's
gonna
Jamar
double?
Chase. That's T. Higgins. That's
Tyler
Boyd. I mean, the redheaded stepchild and Hayden Hurst. So I hope he's doing okay. And you see the kind of the Bengals' MO on defense, right? We're going to bend but not break. We're going to get timely turnovers. We need them. The same team from last year. And there's a thing about Joe Burrow, man. It's always really been hard for me to put my finger on. Joey knows how to settle in games, right? Joey knows how to get to the point. He knows how the game's going. He knows how to settle in a strategy and win games. The one thing that scares me about Josh Allen, first of all, Josh Allen is an absolute freak, an absolute alien, but sometimes he gets caught in that hero ball mode, right? That hero ball mode in the playoffs can get you in trouble when you really start pushing the envelope and try to do the over-the-top things instead of getting the little things done. I like the Bengals in this game. Give me the Bengals. Give me Joey Shiesty and the boys. I just feel like they have too much. They have too much talent on that offense, and they have enough playmakers on that defense.
Well, remember, heroes either save the day or they become the villain. Those are the 2 options when you play hero ball like that. And guys, I do want to say this game is going to be such a different flavor than the Bengals and Ravens because the Ravens sat on the ball.
Sure.
They limited the possessions that the Bengals had. The Bills aren't sitting on the ball. It's bombs over Baghdad down the field. I mean, Josh Allen, they're not going out there just running inside zone and power the whole game to Devin Singletary.
You see, that Miami game, it was crazy to me. Miami was, even in cover 1, even when they were playing man, DBs for Miami were 12 to 15 yards off of the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs was still blowing past them, and they're throwing verticals. I'm like, all right, here comes the basic. Here comes the comeback. Here comes a hitch route. Nah, we don't care how far off you're playing coverage. We're going past.
Josh Allen threw a ball about 70 yards to Stephon Diggs on one play. That is just an inhuman throw. Like, I don't think sometimes when the ball goes in the air and it leaves the screen, when you're watching, and then you see that wide receiver that's running 4-3, which is absolutely Christy Yamaguchi skating down the field, and it just hits him in stride. I don't think people realize how far you have to throw a ball when you let it go and they're already 30 yards down the field and they're running 4-3, by the time that ball's landing, they're 65, 70 yards down the field. It's incredible to watch. But speaking about incredible, what's going on in the Club of Boosters?
All right, let's go to Cone's lawn gnome.
Nice.
Lawn gnome?
Yeah, I didn't know you had one of those. Yeah,
Nice. He can stay on.
$5 donation. TB12 knew he was getting divorced and didn't want Giselle to get any of that $375 million from Fox.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and say, I don't think Giselle's worried about money. I think she may actually have to pay Tom Brady alimony with the amount of money that she's made.
I heard she cheated on him with a gym instructor, her gym instructor.
No way.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Do you have evidence to corroborate?
Jiu-jitsu instructor?
Jiu-jitsu
believe so.
instructor, excuse me.
First off, my significant other's not taking jiu-jitsu where the whole point is to grab each other for a while and stare at each other. Like, why not just send her to a kissing booth while I'm at it?
All right, let's go to Travis Elrod. Do they still have those?
And if I'm Tom Brady, look, I mean,
What about an escape
Yeah, you'll
room?
see Tom. Look, Tom's
new girlfriend that's a fembot
What
of
about,
Austin Powers?
Tommy.
What
It's
about
a
an escape
fembot.
room? Would you send your significant other to an escape room where there's a jiu-jitsu instructor?
No, because I don't want to. I don't want to have to physically accost a jiu-jitsu instructor using the taekwondo that I know.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Travis Elrod. Hashtag
Or just
Ask
the
Granny
old. Actually,
Company.
it's not taekwondo. It's the old Southern boy. I'm just going to kick your ass in here.
I made it all the way to purple belt. in
Yeah, you
Taekwondo.
did.
Can
That's
you
a scary
believe that
thought.
I stopped on purple belt?
I'm glad.
Either
for-
stop before that or go one step
Yeah,
further.
I bet you could just break a kitchen countertop, screw a board. 6'7", a lot of reach, a lot of power, a lot of discipline.
I think I was
Love to see
5'7"
it.
at that time, but yeah,
You were 5'7"?
I don't know.
When you were 3?
a long time ago.
All right, what is
You were never 5'7". Never in your life for 1 second were you 5'7". Come on now. Don't lie to the people.
Hey, Cone woke up when he was 5 and Coach K was sitting by his bed.
Yeah.
Like, David, good morning.
Yeah,
Got you
Cone-
some oatmeal.
Cone woke up and already had a 401k.
We're going to Cameron Indoor
You know what
today
I'm
with
saying?
Papa Cone and Mama Cone.
Yeah, he already had an IRA Roth account. Like, he already owned 15 ties. Already knew how to tie them. Like, let's be honest here. All right. Let's go to Travis Elrod. Hashtag Ask Granny Company. What up, Travie? Did Mike McCarthy save his job last night?
See, we talked about this yesterday. The way they played, I think, when you're dealing with Jerry Jones, it's the flavor of the mood at the moment. Yesterday, I did not laugh harder at anything than watching the jubilance of Jerry Jones after they scored a touchdown, only to watch his anger after they missed the extra point 4 straight times. It was hilarious. Jerry Jones, looked like one of those old people at the casino that finally hit the jackpot on the slot after 25 years of going in there and smoking 18,000 cigarettes. You finally hit the jackpot, and then all of a sudden, they would show him after Brett Maher and miss another extra point, and it was like he just found out his goldfish drowned.
Which we have to talk about that.
Wait, that's
we have to talk about
unacceptable.
4?
Unacceptable. You want to get fired quick?
4 in a row?
You want to get fired quick?
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. You want to get fired
I have
quick?
questions.
Number one, I need to see your cell phone, see what apps you have, because that under hit by the hook.
I always hate when there's a play in sports, whether it's basketball or football or whatever, and someone's like, man, I could make that throw. It's like, you don't really realize how hard it is. I started to ask myself, man, I wonder if I can make a PAT.
You
in
can-
this
yeah, I
game
think
right
you-
now.
Dave, we
Give me
used-
4 shots.
Dave, we used to do it every day.
We did do that
We used to
at
do
the
it
College
every
Football Hall
day.
of Fame.
That's true.
Every day.
That's true.
All right, so how many are you making out of 4 tries? The in-game scenario,
2.
the crowd?
50%.
50. You're hitting 2 out of 4?
hitting
2 more than he
50%.
hit.
I'm probably going 1-1, 1-1.
1-1-1-1.
Yeah.
4 in a row?
That's bad. The question is now, at some point, decision-making wise, going into this game against the 49ers, 4th and 1, let's say first drive, 4th and 4 from your own, or from their, 32. Are you going to kick it where you need to be able to get 3 points, where Robbie Gould's going to make that kick for the Niners? Is your guy going to make it? Hell, do you have to start going for 2 every time now? That's the stuff. And the Cowboys were very fortunate that them being -4 on controllable points did not come back to haunt them. Now, I know that Brett Maher went out there and made that last field goal from about extra point range, so you have some confidence going off. But deep down, missing 2 hurts you. Missing 3 kills you. Missing 4, I've never seen that. Not in a row like that.
And they're fortunate they were up enough where he could make that that last
That's
one,
exactly
extra
right. That's
point,
exactly
just to be able to say,
I've
all right,
never-
well, look, got something back. You
Guys,
know,
I've
but
never seen that. I've never seen a kicker
I don't think
before.
that's a record that will be broken unless there's a game where the weather conditions are just so bad. Even then, you'd be going for two.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, who would give their kicker 4 tries?
Yeah.
I've never seen, at some point, coaches say, we're going for it. I saw Dak Prescott get upset at another player on the sideline. He was pissed at the kicker last night. You never see Dak do that on the sideline.
Well,
That's how bad.
yeah, he's talking to the coaches, not a player.
Yeah. Like,
He screamed, "We need to go for F and 2."
yeah. I mean, it just, and he's right. And he's right. But talk about panicking. Talk about escape rooms. Oh, boy, he tried to get out of that. Oh, boy, tried to escape last night for a while.
Texas said, "I can't say the joke. I want to say the joke, but I can't say the joke." Let's go to Andy J. Love this. Josh Allen is the drive for show, but Joey Burrow's the putt for dough.
I like
Quarterback.
that.
And
I
that's
like
way to
that.
put it.
I'm going to steal that. Consider that stolen.
That's
All
a
right,
good
let's
way
go.
to put
Mike
it.
RFF Lifestyle, hashtag Ask Crane Company. Who has impressed you the most that is still in the playoffs, and who will disappoint you the most?
For me, it's the Giants. I know people say, oh, well, the Vikings, the defense is awful, and you're right. You're right, the Vikings defense is awful. But just because a team is not good on one side of the ball doesn't automatically mean what you're doing is going to work. I think the maturity of the Giants has been the most impressive thing to me so far in the playoffs. And my second, honestly, guys, would be the Dolphins. I know they're not in it anymore, but that was very impressive to me that they were able, the game plan going into that game. And really, in reality, and Blaine brought it up earlier, they dropped some passes early where it could have gotten really weird.
And it was really weird. After that strip fumble in the second half, because you
First
thought
few
the Bills
plays?
would take over in the second half.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. For me, most impressive team in the postseason right now, I'm going to take the 49ers. And let me point this out to you. You're talking about the Bills-Dolphins game and how that ended up being much closer than it should have. Why? Because it was a divisional matchup in the postseason, right? Bengals-Ravens ended up being very close. Divisional matchup in the playoffs, playing the same team back-to-back weeks. Seahawks-49ers is one of the greatest rivalries we have in the NFL.
True.
Talking about divisional matchup. I mean, I remember those guys, Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree, going at each other for years, right? Those teams do not like each other, and it was close in the first half. Brock Purdy was having to lead a 2-minute drill of his own, even to go up by that field goal or to go up by 2 points before halftime. 49ers come out and blow them out in the second half. That was very impressive to me in a game that looked like it was going to be like the other ones, which was going to be a very close game. You add into that this is a rookie quarterback who was third string at the start of the year. I think the 49ers are really poised moving forward to be able to, make some noise.
Look, I think they're the Super Bowl favorite right now. Yeah. I mean, they have to be. All right, a couple more, Blaine. I'm going to move on.
All right, let's go to Revco 250. What's up, Revy? Hashtag Ask the Boys. You always talk about how hard it is to beat a team twice, K-State, TCU, and my Chiefs handled the Jags earlier, but haven't seen each other once already. Does that change the landscape of the game?
Well, you go back and you look at tendencies, but I think when you're playing the Chiefs and what they do offensively, they do so much and they add so much to the game plan off the wrinkles they've used before that it's hard to pin them down. That's, again, offenses that are the scariest, outside of the ones with the best personnel, obviously, are the ones that aren't afraid to pitch backwards. So, it's play action on first down. You never know what you're getting. It's like a great pitcher in Major League Baseball. I can't go up there and just guess fastball. There is no tell. All right, I don't know what's coming. It may be a 2-0 count, and I may get the hook or the slider. It's not a dead red fastball on 2-0 or 3-0 or stuff like that. The Chiefs pitch backwards better than just about anybody, and they still have the pieces to do it. The Jaguars secondary, you can come up with all the coverages you want. You can have more coverages than Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aflac Insurance, and State Farm put together, but you're still not going to be able, with that personnel you have in the back end, to slow down the diversity of weapons that the Chiefs have. But you got to start, if you're going to focus on anybody, you have got to try and shut down Travis Kelce, which is very hard to do, especially in the seam with the option routes and the reads and the chemistry that him and Patrick have together. I just don't see the Jags being able to do it.
All right, let's go to Patch. What's up, Patch? He says, have to decide between staying home and watching the Super Bowl or going to the King of Hammers. Opinions? Hey, watch us live.
We're going to live stream the Super Bowl, so just watch us wherever. Just tell everybody about it. But, Coney, let's get into a little college basketball shoot-around.
All right, last one before I do that. I don't want to miss this. Kliff Kingsbury has bought a one-way ticket to Thailand and said, don't call me.
Look, like I said in the open, maybe now he can finally score when it counts. It was a bad marriage with the Cardinals. The thing with Kliff is he one of those guys that is going to fall under the really good coordinator, but not a head coach, not a great head coach. He wasn't a great head coach at Texas Tech. They didn't win anything. You took a shot on a guy that you thought was maybe more of an... If you're on audio, you got to look at these pictures. That's him with the guitar from The Hangover with the face tat. Look, man, go to Thailand. You're rich. You're rich. Go to Thailand. Go to Russia. Just don't bring any hash oil.
Yeah, don't go to Russia.
Don't go to Russia, actually. Go to the Bahamas. Go to one of those African safaris where they put you in a bird's nest and there's just elephants and giraffes walking around. All right, you're rich. Congratulations. I don't think you're a legitimate NFL head coach. I don't think you're a legitimate college football head coach. I think you're like She-Wolf off Beer Fest. You're a good strawberry beer, a good coordinator, Will Muschamp, in that vein style. I don't believe in Kliff as the head man, regardless of, how well he dresses.
You're soft.
Soft?
I think you're soft. Look, if you can't stand the heat, buddy, get out the
Charmin Ultra?
Get out the kitchen. At the end of the day, look, we're all competitors, right? Right? We all want to win championships, don't we? I mean, Kliff just wants to go to Thailand, and I get it. The girl he's with is an absolute smoke show.
For sure.
But Kliff, you are rich, all right? You can have probably 99% of the girls you talk to will probably come with you anywhere you want to go. But there's one thing, right? There's one thing that usually deep down in a man's gut, his heart, he wants to compete. He wants to win championships. What, did Kyler hurt your feelings? Did Kyler hurt you? Well, Kliff this, Kliff that. Take your Ray-Bans, take your soft ass, go over there to Thailand, and don't come back.
Well, I don't think he's going forever, right?
Well, he bought a one-way ticket, Dave.
That is true. How do you get back?
Yeah, that's the definition of forever. I mean, I don't know what else.
Touche, my friend, touche. All right, college basketball.
Yes.
College basketball, man, it's really heating up right now. So we have Houston, Kansas, Purdue, Alabama all round out the top four with the other two-loss team, UCLA, at number 5. Man, some big games on tonight as well. Kansas State.
Yes. Look, I think we can safely say that the Big 12 is the best conference in basketball. Can we go ahead and do that? Even though, Purdue yesterday, you want to talk about a sneaky game that came on early? I think Purdue-Michigan State came on at 1:30 yesterday, and I watched the whole game, and it was a hell of a game. Walker for Michigan State was hitting huge shots late, but Zach Edey, the Walker of the mountains, the changer of the sun, the monster himself, 7-foot island, scholarship graduate. Does anybody have a better inside game than Purdue? I just question their outside shooting. When their outside shooting's on, you can't stop them. You can't stop them offensively. But Michigan State, pulled a Camp Green Lake and found some holes in that defense yesterday with some of the floppy stuff that they were running, the floppy sets they were running, coming off screens and things like that. But guys, I look around the country, and I always try and look for those teams that are kind of sneaky, like under the radar, that you feel like are going to make a move in the tournament. And I'm really not seeing one like outside of the AP poll top 15 right now that I'm like, man, these guys are really super duper scary. I will say, though, I do think when you look at Kansas, won it last year. I know they're the favorite. Everybody's right now, but I still got to go Houston. I'm gonna dance with the one that brought me here. I know they lost to Bama at home in a tough game, but we look at the parity, guys, in college basketball right now. It's at an all-time high, and typically we see a lot of parity. But as far as games on tonight, you mentioned Kansas and Kansas State. I'm interested to see how Tennessee, who lost at home against Kentucky, which was a huge win for them, bounces back on the road against a Mississippi State team that's 1-4 in the SEC after starting out really hot. You look at NC State going to a Georgia Tech team. NC State's interesting to me. They got one kid that's an absolute stud. You got FSU at Notre Dame. There's some good games on tonight, a couple good ones in the SEC. Texas is going to Iowa State in the Big 12. Iowa State, guys, they gave Kansas a run for their money on the road. They've won some big games. Don't be shocked if you see Iowa State wiggle their way into an Elite Eight with what they have. They're kind of sneaky a little bit. They're a 3-point favorite at home against a Texas team that's 15-2 and 4-1 in the Big 12. And also, David, you got Alabama going to Vanderbilt coming off this Darius Miles situation.
Yep.
Where they're 8.5-point favorite.
I have some action in that one tonight on DraftKings. You're talking about Tennessee. Remember, that's Kansas's only loss this year.
Yeah.
Tennessee. Now, on the Kansas State front, they had 3 ranked games in a row. That was West Virginia, Texas, and Baylor. They won them all. Then they played TCU this past weekend, got beat pretty handily by 14, and now they have Kansas at home tonight, number 2 team in the country. All in all for Kansas State, they're going to play 9 ranked teams in 12 games.
Well, it shows you how good the Big 12 is. Look, what's crazy is that it looks like one of the worst games on tonight in the Big 12 is Baylor at Texas Tech. which it's shocking with Mark Adams and what they return that Texas Tech is 0-5 in the Big 12. 0-5, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I love the way they play. I love the way they play. It's just, again, you look at Texas Tech's schedule, and it hadn't just been a walk in the park. I mean, they've lost, their first 5 at TCU, which TCU is a hell of a team. Mike Miles is unbelievable. Kansas at home. The Oklahoma loss at home. Those are the ones you got to win. Then they lost at Iowa State and at Texas. They get Baylor. It doesn't get any easier here, Cone. They got number 21 Baylor at home. Then they go to number 13 Kansas State. Then you got West Virginia at home. Then 12 Iowa State at home. Then at Baylor. I don't know, man. Texas Tech may be on the outside looking in when it comes tournament time.
Also, Blaine, worth noting,
Yes.
UCLA right now.
Who cares?
Back-to-back losses against Illinois and Baylor. They've reeled off 13 straight wins since then. What surprises me the most is they're doing this without Johnny Juzang, who left for the league.
Yeah, Mick Cronin is the most underrated coach in college basketball.
You think so?
He's the most underrated coach in college. Just look at what he's done. Not only during the regular season, but in the NCAA tournament. You really find out, you want to talk about making adjustments? It's one thing to make adjustments during the regular season when you're having a good year. It's another thing to make adjustments in the NCAA tournament when it's all on the line and those adjustments work out. But what is the one consistent thing that UCLA does and that Mick Cronin preaches? It's defense. Defense. We can talk about Jaquez and his mid-range game and driving game and the experience and Tiger Campbell, the Rastafarian king out there hitting shots, three-point percentage improved. Obviously, the driving kick game is big, but they play defense and they're scrappy and they play hard. That is what UCLA is. That is what he's built, and that wins. And again, don't be shocked to see UCLA make another run in the tournament. That's like I'm telling all these people about Arkansas. Everybody's down on Arkansas, and them not shaking hands against Vanderbilt was a bad look. But Eric Musselman, if anybody can turn it around, it's that guy in Fayetteville, so don't quit on him yet.
Blaine, your thoughts?
UCLA, well, any team with Jaquez, you still got Tiger Campbell, and they're somewhat experienced. They're always going to be there, right? I think Jaquez kind of reminds me of Adam Morrison a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I know it's the hair. Maybe he has a little bit of the unibrow. The stash, a little bit. They still play the same. But I want to go back to Purdue. Is there anything on this planet that can stop Zach Edey?
I don't know.
He had 32 and 17 the other day. It's right now. Player of the year right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's not the player of the year. Either him or old boy from Bama. Right now, I am so ready for the tournament. So ready. Am I going to get disappointed? I'm probably going to miss 80% of my picks. Yeah, duh. It's the way it works. But there's a lot of good basketball teams out there right now. A lot from 1 to 25. And I still think right now, if you're a smart man, and trust me, this kills me to say on the inside, you go sprinkle some cash on Bama to win it all. I don't know what the odds are looking right now. Because the 1 through 5, man, they got a good enough team to win it all. And Nate Oates wants that big boy job. He wants that big boy job.
If you can win it all at Bama, why leave?
Well, it depends on what they're going to give you.
Yeah.
What they're going to give you, because I know a lot of teams out there are basketball schools, and I don't know, just because Bama doesn't go to the playoffs this year doesn't mean they're a basketball school.
Watch out what happens at Kentucky. I know Cal saved himself a little bit for that win, but with that win at Tennessee, just watch out for Kentucky and Texas.
Or even the two teams in North Carolina. You're talking about 1 through 25. Yeah. Duke and North Carolina aren't even ranked right here in this poll.
It's crazy, right?
Duke, North Carolina. And you don't think they're going to be a problem in March?
Is Kentucky top 25
They're going to be
now?
problems. No. NC State, another one talking about North Carolina.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. When's the last time you saw North Carolina, Kentucky, and Duke not ranked in the top 25 at the same time? I feel like it was a couple years ago. I may be tripping, though. All right, Blaine, let's get back to the club.
John Williams, I'm waiting for F1 racing to start up again. Me too.
Yeah, man, we look at those three guys that either one of the three always
talking about Max?
Yeah, Charles
I'm really going to dive into different sports this year.
Yeah.
I'm really going to dive.
You going to get into F1?
F1. NASCAR's got some things coming up.
Yep.
Wiz Khalifa.
Darts.
Hey, they go crazy for darts.
What else out there?
Now.
Hold on. Ryan, our audio engineer. All right, when did it come out, Ryan? All right, the new series for Drive to Survive, the F1 series, which is really what.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. Came out last week. Also, the producers from Drive to Survive from F1, Darby Lou was showing me this week. They made a series for the PGA Tour as well. Nice. And normally you'd say, all right, golf, not on the same
Masters
hatred level, as
people
as
don't
Formula One
understand.
racing. But this year, with all these players leaving for Live, and now you're going to document that whole experience behind the scenes for PGA. Pay attention to that series.
Golf needs to embrace the darkness.
I think they need
Let
to
it
send us
shower
to the
over
Masters. I really do.
We need to go to the Masters, and I'm telling you, this debut F1 series or Grand Prix in Vegas is this season.
That'd be-
We definitely should go to that too.
We should go to that
Vegas,
too,
boys.
We should definitely go to that.
And we got to go to Paris this year.
I know.
No, I'm going to Paris.
It's already
Honeymoon.
on the schedule.
No, it's not.
Like, look,
No, it's not. Y'all aren't going there.
we're going.
No, you're not.
How you gonna stop us?
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe use a phone to call into some place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mike RFF lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, baby. Rank these in your favorite order if they were a national holiday. Day after Super Bowl, starting Friday of March Madness, Friday of the Masters, College Natty, Game 7 of the World Series, Game 7 of the NBA. We're going with Game 7 of the NBA.
March Madness. Thanks.
think so.
Done. I'll take that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it's an all-day affair.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like the bowl games. I'd love to get up and at 11 o'clock watch Toledo play Marshall. Sign me up.
Love it. Let's go to Texas Ed. Blaine, a sport to add to your repertoire to follow is disc golf. I refuse.
Yeah,
I
just
refuse
don't
for
get
one
it.
reason only. I can play a lot of sports. All right. I can pick up a ball and be good at a lot of things. Not a lot of things I'm bad at. That's outside of school. I cannot throw a frisbee.
I just don't get this.
All right, I don't get it either, and that's what pisses me off.
I can throw a frisbee just fine.
Well, it's not like I can't throw it, but it just I can never.
You can't throw a frisbee.
I can never throw it to where like playing disc golf. There's nothing that. And I went to school in Colorado. All they do is hike and play disc golf. I used to be so mad.
That's all they do there.
They used to do that, and you remember when people used to walk on the little wire outside, like connected to two trees?
Yeah, I never understood that
They did
either.
that? I never understood. Well, everybody was basically baked out there 99% of the time.
True.
They got out there and played disc golf, and I'd go out there and be terrible, and it'd make me so mad because I just want to be like any other sport, ping pong, and ding dang, or whatever it is,
Ping pong
football,
and ding
baseball,
dang,
basketball, tennis. I can beat you in. But people will get so hyped up about beating me in disc golf. I just always hated it.
Yeah, look, ultimate frisbee's awesome. That's a great. That's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to go out there and play disc golf.
What was so hard about school?
The school part.
The school.
The math and the
part,
science and the tests.
Oh,
And that's hard to call.
Let's go to Brecken. What's up, Brecken? Who do you guys want to have winning the Super Bowl? I picked the Niners 3 months ago. He says I'm riding with that pick. Also heard something about David Michigan taking out some terrorists late last night.
Yeah,
Did he really?
Yeah, rumor
As he
has it.
just yawned. As he just yawned.
Yeah, they said David Michigan took
Yeah.
out like 9 Iranian terrorists.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
He just flew in there and threw the magic.
tired?
I was in bed asleep.
Yeah.
I am tired.
You were in bed asleep after you got back.
Super Bowl, fellas, who you got?
I mean, it's hard not to pick the Niners right now. I mean, you
Yeah.
want to pick the best team? Now, I know people say, oh, well, Brock Purdy at quarterback. How much money do you think just came in on the Cowboys already this morning to win the Super Bowl?
Probably a good bit.
I guarantee a lot.
Probably a good
I'm
bit.
going to give you 2 teams. I'll give you my top 2.
Okay.
Bengals, Niners.
How about Bengals, Eagles? I
about
still like the
Bengals,
Eagles,
Lions?
man.
Man, I'm telling you, I think I don't know why. Like, I looked in the mirror and saw like the black Spider-Man this morning, and just thought to myself,
Because when I looked in the mirror, I kept seeing A.J. Brown
like
running down the
suit,
field.
the black suit Spider-Man. What's the name of him? Not Venom, but the Spider-Man when he's in the black suit.
Are you talking about superhero movies?
Spider-Man?
I have no frame of
Still
reference.
Spider-Man.
No, well, I thought it was like there was like another name for the one in the dark suit. Anyway, I looked at that and I saw
And we're canceled.
the black Spider-Man suit. I mean, believe me, I've said a lot worse than that.
Oh, man.
No, I just my Peter Parker's just, Spidey senses are off the charts right now for the Giants.
Cover A.J. Brown.
Huh?
Cover A.J.
Yeah,
Brown.
I know. Good luck.
All right. Let's
Cover
go.
Daniel Jones in the open field. Hey, how about we throw a throwback to Kirk Cousins on 3rd and 1? Brilliant. Brilliant by the Vikings.
All right, let's go to Matthew Roberts. He says, y'all should check out MLS. Nashville's got a solid team. I'll go to the game.
Yeah, I'll go to the game.
I always want to go to the game.
Yeah, I'm not. I refuse to watch the MLS on TV. Like, why? Again, that's like me watching,
Would you rather watch MLS or lacrosse?
lacrosse.
Yeah, I'll
For
try out
sure.
lacrosse.
I like watching lacrosse.
Yeah.
I think they didn't offer it at our high school, but I would have loved to play lacrosse. That looks fun.
Yeah.
I get to now. The first time somebody hit me with that stick, we're gonna play a game called Let's Find Out. How did your
I'm one of
shin
those
crack?
guys.
Man, I heard the ball's heavy though.
Yeah, I'm one of
It's
those
like
guys.
a
that's
like a lead rubber ball.
Yeah, it gives a point. If you hit me in like the arm or the shin or something like that, I don't care about the game anymore. I'm headhunting you the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm a find.
I'm going to catch you.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch
like
you.
a girl said from Wedding Crashers.
Yep.
I find you.
Code Red. Let's go to Brock Lawley. What's up, Brock? Hashtag Guys Crane Company. What's your thoughts on Rush pros being hired at a local high school in my hometown of Gadsden, Alabama? Where do you get hired at?
At Coosa Christian?
Coosa.
1A school?
Yes, sir.
Look, I get it. Sometimes you got to hire Rick Weiss to try and turn it around. You know, I think he'll do well. There's been a lot of baggage with Rush, but the one thing he can do is go find some players, legally or illegally. So get ready. All of a sudden, you're going to see some 4-stars walking around Coosa Christian High School now that just magically appeared out of nowhere. So they did get better. I mean, I don't hate the hire, but let's get in a little rapid fire here.
All right, let's do it, man. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but C.J. Stroud, OSU quarterback, did declare for the draft on the final day that he could. We knew this was coming.
Yeah, it's a great PR strategy. Shows loyalty. It's all.
You think it was a PR strategy?
Yes, it's Game of Thrones now,
I think
David.
It was genuine.
It's Game of Thrones now, David.
I think that shows how badly he wants to be a champion.
You know what would have been genuine? To tell Ohio State, I'm not coming back. Y'all go ahead and get another guy ready. So when you go out recruit,
they need to do that anyway. That's their job anyway.
That's true, but it's a lot different when I'm talking to a guy in the transfer portal or I'm going into a recruit of the home and C.J. Stroud still hasn't made a decision whether he's coming back or not, and that affects not only quarterbacks but wide receivers as well. So I think it's a brilliant move by C.J. Stroud. I think Quentin Johnson did the same thing from TCU. Let me show loyalty, and those scouts go in there and say, you know what? You want to know how much C.J. Stroud loves where he's at? He stayed until the last second. He made sure, on the Titanic, he made sure all the women and children got on the lifeboat before that ass Billy Zane did.
Right? We got Titanic analogies in here now?
This made me think, like, there's going to come a point where a first-rounder stays.
Yeah.
There's going to come a point, but how big?
No, I don't think so.
How big does that bag have to be for you to stay?
It's already happened. Jared Verse from Florida State, projected first rounder, decided to come back. Now, I got to see what the NIL deal is, but that's one right
How
there.
big
but
is that bag?
Are we talking about late first round, possible second?
Let's go mid to early.
So, okay, so we're saying what, like 20, like
I'd say
20th pick and below?
17 and under? 17 and under, but how big? How much would they had to pay C.J. Stroud?
$15 million.
I don't think it's anything less than 11.
Yeah, it would have. I think 15. He was going to get what, $20 million signing bonus, or we'll get that.
Yeah.
Right in the NFL. I mean, it would have had to be 15.
Well, let's
I think
think
was the minimum.
Well, let's think about this. Somebody said this on Twitter, like, oh, well, now you're waiting an extra year in college. That's going to keep you 1 year further away from your second contract. You're going to be older. No, you're looking at it wrong. If you were to stay, let's just say theoretically, they said, we will offer you $15 million to stay for your senior year. You're basically adding an extra contract. You're going to have that because you're only staying 1 year. It's not like you're staying 2 years. So they got to pay you that money. Then you get drafted in that contract. Then you get your second. So really, you're double dipping on the contracts early. So I think that's kind of the workings and the lever and the pulley of trying to get somebody to stay.
And another thing that you're doing, guys were even doing this when I was playing, when you weren't getting $15 million for a season, is you are taking out an insurance policy for your future.
Yeah.
You know, you're hedging against that for any long-term damage that you could have. There's a lot of guys who would make this decision, and I'd be all over what Jake's saying. PR move, I don't believe it. I'm sniffing through that. I see through you. With C.J. Stroud, man, I've seen this kid enough now to understand how badly he wants to be a champion at the college level. Maybe in his mind, he knew he was going to go to the NFL. But I feel like he at least played out the decision in a genuine manner. Maybe he had people close to him saying, hey, just wait till the last day. This is a PR move. I'm not saying that.
Take your time, you know.
And you have a deadline for a reason, right? A lot of guys take signing day, taken to the last second to declare for a school. I don't know. The more and more I watch this kid, C.J. Stroud, the more I like him. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to be afraid to be a fan of him just because he went to OSU. I'm also not going to be afraid to say go blue to him when I see him.
Yeah, well, and I don't want people to think I'm saying that C.J. Stroud's like nefarious or a bad guy. It's a smart. I think it's a smart business decision. I think it's brilliant. I'd do the same thing.
I love it. No. Well, on the flip side of that rivalry, Jim Harbaugh will stay at Michigan, and the president of the university came out and said, I've spoken with Jim Harbaugh. I'm excited that he's going to stay at Michigan, and I've let the athletic director, Ward Manuel, know. Yeah. Not a good look, Jay.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Rock your body.
Rock your body.
Everybody. Rock your body right.
I'm taking my shirt off.
Yeah. Harbaugh's back tonight. Look, Ward Manuel, you can get out. Yeah, Ward Manuel's won no games at Michigan. Sometimes you got to realize, hey, you're not the biggest dog in the room. You were when you walked in there to Jim Harbaugh and was like, king of the castle, give me some money because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Now the leverage has flipped. Now you are expendable, Ward Manuel. All right, at the end of the day, Jim Harbaugh is way more important to Michigan than Ward Manuel will ever be. And he needs to shut up. He needs to shut up and sit down and be a good little boy and listen, because Jim Harbaugh is running that show right now. It's huge for Michigan. It's huge for J.J. McCarthy. It's huge for recruiting. Now, will we have this same conversation next year? For sure.
Done talking about it.
For sure.
Done talking.
Oh, you know it's
good for Michigan. It's good for college football. And look, again, I mean, Michigan has to be one of the two favorites next year. They are returning what everybody else basically is not returning.
Yes. Blaine, is that how you see the situation?
On Michigan being the top two teams next year?
That and on, that this was a no-brainer and that Ward Manuel was all in the wrong.
Why would you leave if you're Jim Harbaugh? Just tell me why. I mean,
because your brother beat you in the Super Bowl and you want to get back at him.
Okay, but the odds of you going to win a Super Bowl with the team you're going to have to sign, good luck, buddy. What's it going to be, the Cardinals? Well, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? That's going to be Super Bowl ready.
Chargers?
I don't think so. I mean, you can't beat the Jags.
Broncos?
No. I don't think so. You know where I think your best place to win a championship at? It's the place you're at right now, where you're the golden child, the chosen one. J.J. McCarthy, the one quarterback you're going to finally have go to the NFL at some point. Your defense is going to be, you bring back good pieces of your defense. You're bringing a couple of receivers back. Blake Corum stayed. Donovan Edwards is going to be there.
This is the year.
This is the year.
This is the year.
You guys think so?
This is
it.
I don't think y'all win it. Well, I think this is y'all's best chance to.
All right, so look, like we said to the caller on yesterday's show,
that one hurt.
University of Michigan is better off with Jim Harbaugh as their coach. The University of Michigan did not think there was a floor when it came to head coaching decisions, and then Rich Rodriguez got hired. They realized, wow, we can't have a season where we only win 3 games. You have a guy who was an All-American for Bo Schembechler leading your team. This is great for the university. I don't entirely blame Ward Manuel for his decision process in this, or his thought process in this, because if I'm the owner of a company, right, and I have an employee who I'm paying, and I've made them one of the highest paid employees at their position, and they hadn't been performing up to expectations, then all of a sudden you make the contract incentive-based, and they go to back-to-back playoffs and win the conference. It kind of worked. At the same time, on the flip side of that, there's only a handful of guys who can lead a university to the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh's done it in back-to-back seasons. You have to pay him among the highest paid coaches in the country. You have to, right? Yeah. Now, as far as will they win the national championship next season, this will undoubtedly be the best roster that Jim Harbaugh returns. You've beaten your biggest rival 2 years in a row. You look around at Alabama, Georgia, OSU, all losing their quarterbacks, the most important position. I just need to see it first. 1-6 in bowl games, guys. He hasn't won a bowl game since his first year at Michigan. I need to see it to believe it, and I think Michigan fans across the country are ready to see it. They're ready for this. It could be the most special season in the history of Michigan football. And this is coming after a 13-win season.
I want you to be Ward Manuel, and I'm the president.
I'm Ward Manuel?
And you walk in my office.
Oh, I walk in your office. Wait, are you the president or Jim Harbaugh?
I'm the president.
Okay. Hello?
Hey, come in here.
Yeah. So here's what I'm thinking.
No, I don't need you to think.
Okay.
You're doing too much thinking.
Okay.
Lately, all right.
You want me to speak?
No. You're not going to speak.
I'll listen.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. Are you and Jim beefing?
No.
Oh,
I
there's
just
not
don't
a
think
beef.
He's
That's
not
crazy. Hold on. Jim, yeah, y'all are beefing. All right, Ward. Here's what we're going to do. You're fired.
But I had a strategy.
No.
I had a plan.
Here's my strategy. You're fired.
He wants $10 million.
It's my strategy. Good. That's a steal. A steal. Guess what? Have you seen the prices?
But we went
right now.
We
season tickets,
back-to-back championships.
All time high. Well, you didn't. How many plays you call? How many plays you call, Ward?
There was one that I called Coach Harbaugh, and it worked.
Shut up, you're fired. Bye, Ward. Get out of my office. Get Jim in here. Jim, you're the AD too.
Hold on, I have a button for that.
Clearly don't understand the employer-employee relationship.
All right. We're gonna get to the booster coming into rapid fire. Remember, if you want to watch the rest of this or listen to the rest of it, head over to the Daily Wire Plus, become a member, listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with all your friends. It really helps the show. We'll be right back with bets, rapid fire, Booster Club, and everything else in human beings. It's called Plan B. Yeah. All right. Well, before we get to the Booster Club, we have to show this dunk from your resident Men in Black associate, Ja Morant, the alien that he is. He adopted another son. Congratulations. I mean, he's basically running a foster care system at this point. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
There we go.
I can show you the world. Oh, God. Oh.
Guys.
Just get out of the way. Like,
Guys.
at this point, have your 2 points. We're the Pacers. We're down 20.
Look at that. Blaine, he's here. He's here with that.
Why are you jumping?
Yeah, like, just stop jumping. Like, why would you jump?
This guy's trying to
baptized someone yesterday, too, off an alley-oop.
At some point, I'm just tackling you. Like, I'm just Bobby Bouchering you across. I'm not. That's the only way I'm jumping. Is if I'm taking you out, then there's a fight. Then I get kicked out of the NBA. So there's no point in doing it. At this point, let the man jump. He's a human trampoline. You know, like that sport, what's it called, slam ball, where they jump on the trampolines?
I
and
remember
dunk? He's
slam
doing
ball.
that without the trampolines.
Well, if you're like, it has to register.
Travel, Father Pat.
You know, at some point where I try to put myself in that position. I know I'm not 6'9", 6'10". I know I'm not. But if I'm that guy in the paint, right, and Ja Morant has a head start coming downhill at me, right, what immediately goes off in my head? I am getting out of the way. I'm not going to be the guy on 8-year-olds' walls that they look at to be like, God, y'all remember when Crane just got absolutely dunked on against Ja Morant? I'm never going to be that guy, so I'll never put myself in that situation. I'd rather Draymond Green you than let that happen.
Just a swift
I'm
kick?
sorry. A kick, pick you up in the middle of the dunk. I don't know what it is, but you know what's going to happen. Why are you this man is basically a better version of Derrick Rose.
That's the truth.
Like, I want to bring out John Brinkus, all right?
Okay.
And let's really
Johnny
find
B.
out what planet John Morant's from. Like, literally,
He is
him
a better
and Zach
version of
Edey,
Derrick Rose.
Like, he's a better version of Derrick Rose. He is jumping out of the gym.
Is he trying to be the greatest dunker ever? Like, is he?
I'm
really
telling you
trying
right
to-
now.
the greatest dunker
look,
ever, in my opinion.
he's
Vince
better-
Carter
you think
before
he's better
this,
than
Vince Carter
Yes.
or Michael Jordan.
Vince
What was
Carter
the best
ain't
dunker
jumping
ever?
like that. Michael Jordan ain't even close to this.
Vince Carter was jumping over 7-footers
Yeah.
in the
Dog,
Olympics.
I'm like, watch him jump.
Yeah,
Watch him jump. He could jump and probably just sit on top of the goal.
Honestly, that dunk and the Anthony Edwards dunk, the Anthony Edwards dunk is still the greatest dunk I've ever seen. Like, from a posterizing standpoint, you talk about just reading the hymnal to him when you're up in the air, letting him see the light, introducing him to his maker. That one, when all the other players on the other team are like this, when they see him in the air, if you haven't seen that Anthony Edwards
The one dunk that always gets me, and I want to say it's just the way it happened, was when LeBron was at the Heat and Jason Terry. Oh, God. Jason Terry. It was a double alley-oop, and it was a playoff game, and LeBron just baptized Jason Terry. And I'm like, Jason, at what point did you think this was a good idea?
At what point was Jason Terry ever going to stop LeBron?
He just turned around and you could see the fear in his eyes right when LeBron
That's
was
when I
coming.
pretend my ACL goes down.
That's when COVID immediately hits me. I just
That's
start
exactly
coughing
right.
and-
All right, I'm going to head over to the board for our booster bets. We're going to get to the Booster Club, but remember, our Booster Club bets are brought to you by DraftKings.
Yes, sir.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our code Booster, BOOSTER, and new customers can bet $5 on the NFL divisional round and get $200 in free bets instantly. We're just throwing free money at you, all right? Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code Booster. It's BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And remember, we have our DraftKings bet of the day that we tweet out at Crane Company on Twitter. Go follow that. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. I'm headed to the board. Jake's cutting out.
All right,
we
we
got
got
in the Booster
Laura
Club,
Brown.
Mike?
What's up, Laura? $2 donation. She says, 2-mile run done. Thanks for keeping me distracted. Hey, you get that work.
For sure. I heard that
run?
beef jerky's on the way.
Oh.
I'm super jack tan and emotionally spiritual about it.
2-mile run. Shout out to you, Laura B.
Travis Elrod, hashtag Ask Crane Company. Any comment on the guy that lost $1.4 million on the Chargers-Jaguars game to win $11,000?
That's what you get for doing
What you
stupid
deserve.
things.
What you get, bud.
You bet $11.4 million to win
$1.4
$1.4 million to win $11,000, and you lost.
What was the bet?
He took the Chargers money line up 27-0.
What you get?
1.4, David.
That's what you get.
1.4. Imagine how many things you could buy with $1.4 million that you would have just had. I get Mattress Mac losing $3 million because he bet on TCU after betting on the Astros and win the World Series before the season, and they did, and winning $9 million.
You try to take the easy way out.
Yeah.
You try to take the easy way out and betting. That's where they get you. I guarantee you that game changed right when.
But also, if that happens, I'm showing up at Brandon Staley's house. Like, I'm going to need at least half of it back.
All right, let's go to RNN gas stove user. You don't let him take that gas stove either. With cold, dead hand. The athletes in the SEC are different, admittingly. The issue with the Big Ten is they don't play with that speed and athleticism week in and week out. It haunts them when it comes to playoff.
I think there's a couple schools that do. Ohio State does. Yeah. Michigan does. Penn State at times does. It's the depth of athlete on the team that is the difference. But at the top, you saw Ohio State run with Georgia. I mean, they ran with them. Georgia couldn't stop them.
The Bengals' entire defense is made up of OSU and
that's exactly right.
Guys.
The Eagles are going the SEC defensive route. The Bengals are going the Big Ten defensive route. The two best conferences in football.
Let's go to Baby Sawyer's dad. What's up, Baby Sawyer's dad? Real question. Who do you guys have winning the NCAA wrestling tournament? I don't know, probably some guy from Iowa, right?
Give me Iowa.
Yep. They love their wrestling up there. Parker T, hey, blame my McCaffrey anytime touchdown to win prop smacked. I know it hit, man. I was going to take him first touchdown score, and I didn't. I took him the week before.
Yeah.
And he didn't, but I knew.
See, by the way, Cameron Brate scored last night. Like I told old boy, don't take him first touchdown score, take him anytime score. I think Cameron Brate scored that last touchdown for the Bucs.
Yeah.
There you go.
There, get that paper.
Go to Slay Dog. As a Thunder fan, I have very strong feelings about Draymond Green's playing style. I bet you do, bud.
Yep.
I mean, let's be honest. Does anybody really like Draymond Green?
No.
No, they don't. Let's go to JJ. What's up, JJ? Michigan doesn't have a creative enough offense, and OSU just does not have the defense to compete in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, Georgia beat Ohio State by 1. Michigan, I thought, got 2 correct.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want creative.
Yeah.
I don't want creative.
Do this.
Score at the goal line.
Yeah. How about you QB sneaking in from the half-yard line instead of running Philly special?
I wasn't seeing a lot of creativity from Georgia 2 weeks ago, all right? Yeah. I was seeing a lot of, hey, we just beat you down because we're better than you.
Here's your wife and mother back.
Our sister Rick says, Blaine, tell Jake Black Spider-Man is Miles Morales.
Black suit Spider-Man. Like, not because there's a Spider-Man movie I'm talking about, when he gets dark and Tobey Maguire and it's like the black suit Spider-Man. That's what I'm talking about. Not Venom, black suit Spider-Man. You're right. I think it's still Spider-Man, but I don't know.
All right, let's go to Dakota Faulkner. What's up, Dakota? #AskCrane Company. Did y'all see Jabari Smith tell LeBron that his dad played against him in his first NBA game? That was crazy. LeBron did drop a 40-piece.
Yeah, well, it just shows you LeBron played against his dad when his dad was playing for Sacramento, and LeBron still scored 40 points last night at 113 years old. All right, let's get to picks. Here's what I got tonight. Remember, this is brought to you by DraftKings. Use our club booster. Look, all that matters is units. Overall record deep down does not matter if you're losing money. It's about the units, all right? Like being a good apartment manager. It's all about the units. So, plus 1.5 units, 1.1 units right now on the month. Survived this weekend. So I'm going to go a little 3-team basketball parlay here. Let's go Bama Vandy under 155.5. That is a lot of points. All right, Bama coming off a game against LSU where they scored 337 points in the first half. Then I got Notre Dame money line at home. And then give me Kentucky money line at home tonight. I know the last time they were at home, they lost to a very bad South Carolina team, but I do like Kentucky tonight. Will be interesting to see how they play, and then interesting to see how Tennessee plays on the road. Then that's going off at plus 207. Then my next bet, Georgia Tech at home tonight against the NC State team that beat Miami at home in overtime, coming off an emotional game. Give me Georgia Tech plus 5.5 at home. That's minus 115. Giants, help us God.
All right, I'm going to take double college basketball picks as well. 2 good teams, both on the road. Give me the number 1 team in the country, Houston, on the road at Tulane. That's minus 10 on the spread. I want that at minus 110. And then Alabama on the road at Vandy, minus 8.5. Minus 105. Actually,
minus 9.5.
9.5 on that. Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
9.5 minus 110.
All right,
And then Bama's is minus 8.5, minus 105.
I thought I sold myself short a little bit. I was like, okay, all right, give me a little hockey bet. Give me Oilers Preds, both money line plus 140. Come on, guys.
Pred's been hot. Pred's getting hot, guys.
Don't let me down. There's nothing worse than watching Mike Evans.
Can't wait to watch us lose in the first round against the Avs again.
I love watching Mike Evans have 40 yards on the last 2 drives to have more yards than CeeDee Lamb.
No way.
Then give me Houston minus 9.5. I'm going to a little bet buzz with you on that day. But give me the Tennessee, Mississippi State over at 122.5. That's a combined parlay at plus 246. You go get that on DraftKings. You go get it now.
You go get it now. All right, Baby Cone, he's going Kansas money line and Maple Leafs money line. All right, the Maple Leafs is minus 170. Kansas, this is going to be a hell of a game at Kansas State.
Is.
I can't wait to watch that one. That one in Texas at Iowa State, probably the 2 best games of the night, even though Bama and Vandy is always weird on the road at Vandy.
Vandy's a weird place.
It's a weird place, man. I remember when going to play at Vandy was a death sentence with Kevin Stallings. And remember Luke Cornett?
I always
that
had a
big
white
white monster that was shooting threes.
I just remember Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah, he was
Hey,
nice.
I'm not missing anything.
He was nice. But, I mean, Vandy always has some sneaky guys. But, all right, poll.
Will Jim Harbaugh win a national championship?
Oh, you had to do that one, huh?
I'm going to say that the Booster Club said no, 59%, but I think he does.
No, 58%.
No, 70%.
Oh,
There.
Yes.
Hate.
They're like, hey, get out of here.
That's exactly right. All right, any donuts we need to read?
No, we're good, man. We're good. Good day, Booster Club.
Yep, parting shots?
When we go into the escape room, I set it up. I got to pick a date now, though.
Yeah, we
Pick
just.
a date.
So when I go to a place, I don't want to voluntarily go to a place where I have to escape.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's not go to Escape Room. Let's just go to Fenwick's.
Yeah, let's go to Fenwick's.
Go to Fenwick's.
I love how you're switching this from escape room to breakfast, and you know I was going to get on board.
Let's escape to Fenwick.
I'm hungry.
Let's go.
Blaney hungry?
I'm hungry right
All
now.
right, we may do
Monte
something about it. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you're following us on all social media. Subscribe. Got Tom Luganville coming on tomorrow. Very excited about that. Going to continue to talk everything. A little NHL going to start working its way in, boys. We're starting to head toward the playoffs there a little bit. The hometown Preds are hotter than a fat kid in a first sleeping bag. And the New Jersey Devils, speaking about the hot, the Devil went up to New Jersey, and he was looking for a soul to steal, and apparently he did it because everybody else is in the NHL. And like the chances of Jim Harbaugh coaching against John next year, we're gone.